Arnold Schwarzenegger was never originally intended to play the Terminator. In fact, when James Cameron first came up with the idea for the film, he envisioned the Terminator as a completely different character. Cameron's initial concept was for the Terminator to be less of a physically imposing figure and more of a subtle threat, someone who could blend into the background, making the character an almost invisible, unsuspecting force of destruction. The idea was that the Terminator could walk through a crowd unnoticed, which would add to the tension and make the villain even more terrifying. However, as the movie progressed, Cameron had a change of heart. When Arnold Schwarzenegger entered the picture, his sheer physicality was so striking that it shifted Cameron's vision. Arnold, with his towering presence and muscular build, would create a very different kind of Terminator, one that couldn't blend in but instead would be an overwhelming force of destruction, a killing machine that no one could miss. This casting decision changed the entire feel of the film, turning the Terminator from a more inconspicuous villain into an iconic, unstoppable force that has since become one of the most recognizable characters in movie history. Looking back 40 years later, Cameron reflects on this decision and acknowledges how crucial it was to the success of the Terminator. The decision to cast Schwarzenegger was a bold move that dramatically altered the direction of the film, and Cameron is glad he was open to making such a significant change from his original vision. While it's now hard to imagine anyone else in the role, at the time it was a big departure from what he initially intended. However, Cameron's flexibility and willingness to adjust his approach paid off. Schwarzenegger's portrayal of the Terminator transformed the movie into a massive success and helped cement Cameron's career as a top director in Hollywood. Though Cameron admits some of the film's production elements now feel a bit cringeworthy, especially when considering the small budget and his lack of experience at the time, he is still incredibly proud of the movie and its impact. Given that The Terminator was his first major project, he doesn't count Piranha 2, it could have been easy for Cameron to stick to his original concept out of insecurity, but his decision to change course demonstrates his confidence, even in those early days. This willingness to adapt, along with his strong instincts, ultimately helped shape the film into a classic. The Terminator not only launched Schwarzenegger's acting career but also marked the beginning of one of the most successful franchises in film history. Its influence on the sci-fi genre cannot be overstated, and it established Cameron as a visionary filmmaker. The film's success paved the way for its 1991 sequel, Terminator 2: Judgment Day, where Cameron returned to his original idea of a more subtle antagonist with the introduction of the T-1000, a liquid metal assassin capable of blending in seamlessly. In a reversal of roles, Schwarzenegger's Terminator became the hero in the second film, which was an even bigger box office hit than the first. In hindsight, Cameron's decision to move away from his original vision for the Terminator and embrace Schwarzenegger's physically imposing presence was a pivotal moment in his career. The film's success opened doors for Cameron, allowing him to take on even bigger projects, many of which went on to become some of the highest-grossing films of all time, like Titanic and Avatar. This ability to pivot and make bold choices has been a defining characteristic of Cameron's career. From his early days with the Terminator to his later blockbusters, Cameron has shown a unique blend of creativity, confidence, and adaptability. Today, 40 years later, The Terminator is still regarded as one of the greatest sci-fi films ever made, and its influence on pop culture remains strong. Cameron's reflection on his early career highlights how important it is for filmmakers to trust their instincts, but also to be open to change. By casting Schwarzenegger, Cameron not only changed the trajectory of that one film but also helped shape the future of sci-fi cinema as a whole. The film, with its groundbreaking special effects, intense action sequences, and iconic one-liners like, "I'll be back," became a cultural phenomenon, solidifying both Schwarzenegger and Cameron as legends in the film industry.